All right. Welcome everyone to the January 2025 Content Manager meeting. I appreciate your joining us today, and we have a really action-packed agenda. So I'm going to go ahead and, get started. We're going to cover over our, follow up a little bit about our capstone. As well as all of this great content, bundles of joy that Shireen had put together for that. We'll talk about the DX Sandbox. We'll talk about the benchmarks and the accessibility project, and then hopefully still have some time for questions. With this, I want to turn it over. Jessica, are you with us to talk a little bit about the capstone and some of the other changes on?
Yeah, sure, I am. Welcome everybody. Happy New Year. It's hard to believe we're in 2025. Yeah, so again, we really took your feedback from the capstone. Some of those was to get the DX Sandbox launched. That's another announcement for later. But there was, if you attended Shireen's session, you would notice she gave you a whole bunch of bundles of joy. And then, as always, she kind of followed through with some of that as well. And so she's going to provide some additional resources. It just shows you that we're continuing trying to enhance our website. With that, we did create a one-stop shop with all those resources. So if you missed a session, the amazing session regarding errands, where you were talking about content manager meeting, our content management strategy, the gardening one, you could go directly to the Capstone website and find more. I think Don's trying to drive us there. So it will provide you all the resources, the recordings, and etc. Right there on the resource page. If you haven't had a chance, we'll still take your feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly. There's also a resource there for you. But they made a nice accordion for you to review, go directly to the slide deck or to the video. So we just strongly encourage you in your so-called spare time to check out those resources from that amazing event. Yep, that's all I have on that.
So we talked about the bundles of joy. I did want to share with you a little bit about the outdated content. This is a new feature that has just gone live. Most of you probably won't take advantage of this until you get to where you are, 18 months out from the launch of your site. But on and Iowa.gov launched, and the governor's website launched almost 2 years ago now in 2022, let's see, 2023, right? In January 2023. So very soon when we get to, I know, sorry, I didn't have this up, Iowa.gov, then I am going to be able to, in content, you will see that there's a new outdated content. Woot woot. This is a goal that we had from the steering committee. We did all this work to keep our, to clean up our content and shrink the number of pages of the old information. But we've been working over the last 2 years. Our content has grown, and now I can click that link when it's actually 2 years out from your launch, and you will see content that has not been updated or touched in the last couple of years. This would allow me to go in and review it. So not work you have to do this month, but over the course of we get to later this year, please take advantage of this new outdated content link. And again, we just indicated here that where you can find it and how you can keep your content clean. Okay, I'm gonna turn this over now to Shireen and to Alexis to talk a little bit about using some of your analytics reports to help you, again, keep your content current, make sure that information is easy for your users to access. Shireen.
Alrighty. So, the link within this slide actually takes you to the documentation that we have on the DX. Well, now it's been updated to digital experience platform, but the DX platform. So everything I'm about to say right now is going to be on that link in this slide if you want like a refresher. So I know during the capstone, some of the agencies had mentioned how do we like update our like outdated content, or how do we utilize Google Search Console or the keywords or the top keywords to keep our content like fresh, and like what do we do with this information after we have that. Now, so I just wanted to help give like a guide on what you can do. So, like it shows in this slide with the Google Organic Search Report, one of the things that you can do is, of course, you can search for your documents by using the media word in the little search bar. And then that will show you all of the documents that are on the platform that have like high traffic, like your top 10 high traffic documents. And that will just at least help you to know, for one, what kind of content is like the top ranking or most popular. So you can then utilize that information to possibly make more pages about that. Or you can also use the Google Search Console. When you see like your top 10 keywords, you can also use that and make sure that you have those keywords also in your header of your page, or make sure that information is also within like the body of your page, just the content of your page. So that's one of the ways that you can use the Google Search Console or those keywords to help update outdated content. So again, that's what that link in this slide will take you to on the DX platform, about how to navigate and how to see those reports, so that you could see like the query strings or the questions people are typing in that brings up those like top 10 media documents. So then okay, let me go ahead and add this question to this page that this document is linked on. And let me see. Oh,
And
I
so
also want to,
I was just going to jump in and say,
yeah.
not every content editor has access to your Google Analytics or to your Google Search Console. If that's something that you want access to, then of course, just submit a service desk ticket. We'll get you access. And if I'm going to mention here now that we're going to work to reinstitute office hours, so that on a weekly basis, you'd be able to jump in to the office hour and ask Shireen or Alexis, questions. And that would be a good time for you to say, hey, help me explore this in analytics or in Search Console. Maybe you're in it, you're looking at it, you're not sure what it's telling you or what action you might want to take. Those office hours are a great place to do that. In addition to, if you are, trying to create some content and you're finding something that isn't working right, you think it might be a bug, but you don't know. It might actually be a training opportunity. So you've always got, so going forward, and we'll get the information out about the office hours after this meeting, you're going to have an opportunity once a week to just jump in and ask questions.
Yep. And before I forget, also with the I'm not sure if everyone has done this yet, but to make sure that your traffic that Google is tracking is separated from like the state employees versus the users, make sure you guys have that Google Analytics opt out extension added to all of your browsers. And that link is also where you can get that opt out, is also linked within that slide. It's at the top right before you view that page. So but yeah, that's all that I have to share about the Google Analytics.
Whoops, I'm sorry, wrong.
No, that's okay. But that's all that I have to share about the Google Analytics search traffic. You got it, Don. It's okay. You got it. Woo!
That's what happens when you drive.
There we
The
go.
thing about and we keep reminding you, make sure that you've loaded this for your Chrome browser, but a number you are using Edge, you can also add the opt-out extension in Edge, Firefox, and Safari. So if you haven't done it, be sure to do it. And again, you can just search for it on the DX site, or as she indicated, you would be able to find that opt-out here.
Yep,
Is
right
that
on
right?
that page. Yep, if you click that
Okay.
link, it'll take you to the page. And it will like
Okay.
have it on the page.
Right.
For you.
Oh, it's here on this page.
Yep. Right there.
Right there. Cool. Cool beans. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Whoops. Let's go back to slideshow. Alexis and Shireen, are you with us on this?
I'm here. Sorry, I was just waiting. So hi everyone. I'm Alexis. Just to reintroduce myself. So of course I will be sharing about how to check a page's reading level. And so on the first link that's listed there on the slideshow, that'll actually take you to our DX site. That'll give you more information of what I'm speaking on today and a little reference for you to check on. But just to get started, you do want to make sure that your individual pages do have a reading level of an 8th grade reading level. It's important for like accessibility, just to make sure that your content is more inclusive and easier and user-friendly for everyone to understand. We do highly recommend this because, especially for content like important information like forms and policies, complex topics, and just general, just website information and content. So why does it matter? It's important for people with disabilities, non-native speakers, and search engine optimization, ensuring better comprehension and engagement and visibility all around your site. And so we do have 2 tools that we use to check your reading levels. The first tool we use is Acquia Optimize, and it shows you just like a dashboard just to analyze your reading level. You can see it from a broader view of just the whole site. And then you can also go in and kind of see your individual pages grouped into categories of what those reading levels are. And then we also have the Hemingway app, which is listed also on the slide right here. Thank you.
There we go.
Appreciate it. So we do have the Hemingway app, which is a free and it's very user-friendly app that we use. And basically, you can copy and paste your individual page's content onto that web page, and it'll give you a full breakdown of just, of course, what your readability level is. It'll give you that grade, and then on the side, it'll also give you. Oh,
Can you see
I have
the
settings.
Hemingway?
Yes, it's like, they're bulldozing snow, so I want to make sure that you guys can't hear that. I apologize. But yes, so as you can see, you have your readability level, and then also you can get suggestions on what to change. So it'll give you those highlights of what's like kind of hard to read and the difficulty levels of that, and then just give you different like suggestions on how to make your content better. And so those are our 2 tools that we do offer. If you are wanting to kind of decide what's the better tool to use, just in case you do get 2 different scores through Hemingway or Acquia, we do recommend that for your individual pages, that you rely on Hemingway first. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. If there's any questions, I can answer those as well.
I'm trying to see if I can make a change. Oh no, I made it. I changed it from red to brown, but instead of being very hard, it's just hard to read. I'm still a 9th grade level, but as you make changes, you can see it will improve, hopefully, your reading level. Often, sometimes when you have long text, if you simply put it in a list format, you can drop your reading level on that page. I'm sure a lot of you have used this tool, but we always like to mention it because it really is so helpful. When you made changes, it's not saving anywhere. Be sure and copy and paste it back into, a Word doc, a Google doc, or back in onto your site because it's not being saved. But that's a great tool. We benchmarked as part of the project your top 10 pages. We went into analytics and we pulled your top 10 pages. And as you know, we had your clear next step help rewrite some of the pages for the agencies. And then hopefully you included that content, the rewritten content in your new website. I think there might be a few instances where you didn't have time to get around to updating the content and you maybe did a copy and paste from your old site and you still have a little bit of work to do. But you've done a great job, and we just want to remind you as we're setting our New Year's goals and starting fresh that we want to encourage you to go back and look at those top 10 pages. And now that you've done such a great job on that, we've also given you your top 11 to 20 pages. So we pulled this. So and some sites we didn't get a full 10 in, but here's another 10 pages for DAS, and here's what their reading level is right now. And so this is your the DAS history at the point that we pulled it in. This was the 11th most popular page, had to do with the reform movements in America, and it was at a 9th grade level. So you could work a little bit on that one, or history could work a little bit on that one. But this is already at a 7th grade. This one on county records, it's at a post-grad level. So this is an easy way to go in and say, hey, let's see if we can't get this and work on this page and improve the reading level. So this link is available to everybody. Again, it's in the link is in our slides for the meeting, and I just put it in chat, but you'll be able to go in and look at your agency and what we pulled for you. Now, there's a few that we were still working on, but most of the agencies are already out there. Okay. Shireen, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about alt text. Then I'll jump in at the end.
Alrighty, perfect. So, like I had mentioned in some of the trainings that I have done, and then also on the DX platform, like we had mentioned, when it comes to like trying to find content or images or just stuff on your website and how you need to use like the title of that image when you upload it into your media library or just when you just create stuff on your site. Some stuff has been like migrated over onto your site and it might not have an alt text, and you might be like, well, I didn't do it. That's okay. That's totally fine. This page that we have is like a resource that shows you how you can go and and fix the alt text that might not have been added when that image was migrated onto your site. And to do that, you just have to use the title of that image, or instead you can just sort through the media filter, the media type, and just click image. And then that way you can sort through all your images and click the edit button to where then it will pull up where that where that media item was uploaded that has like the image file attached. And then you can see if the alt text is there. And we have instructions on how to do that on how to work with the media library on that page. But again, it's totally okay if there are images on your site that don't have alt text. This isn't like a point and finger. How dare you not have that? No, this is just kind of like, hey, we want to give you a resource to help fix that so your site stays nice and accessible. And like mentioned if we go to our next slide, how you can easily identify if there are images that are missing alt text or images that might need to have like updated alt text. That's where you can use your Acquia Optimize if you don't want to, have to go into your media library and select edit and look at it like one by one. Instead, you can use your Acquia Optimize, and within you see right there, it says like all level accessibility text. That's going to be underneath like the accessibility tab. And here you will end up, if you type in like alt in the search, you'll see where Don has it highlighted. It lets you know, okay, here's where the image and the alt text like needs to be updated. And then in the far right of that, you will see all of the pages that have those images that need the alt text updated. And also, just so that you know, if you're using, sometimes with Moncito or Acquia Optimize, sometimes what it does is, say there's like one image, it is being used across 10 pages. It is like, oh, you have to fix all 10 of these pages. If it's like the same image on all 10 pages, all you have to do is just actually go into the media library and update that one image. And then the image where it's at on all those other 10 pages updates as well. So don't let that number on that row scare you. Moncito Acquia likes to just be mean and scary. But that is also available for you too. And again, like Don had mentioned, if you ever do like need help with trying to do this process, or you just want like a walkthrough, we do have the open office hours, and I do have the registration link. It's going to happen monthly, so that registration link, it'll be on your calendar each Thursday at 1 to 2 p.m. It's not mandatory for you to show, but if you need some help, we have that available on the basic training. In the basic training, on the training page, just click the training button in our navigation, and the DX, I forgot. Oh yeah, no, I put it there too. Yeah. So if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see where I have it linked right there, Thursdays from 1 to 2 p.m. And you can just click on that link up above in the top paragraph.
Sorry.
Yeah,
there we are. Here we are. Okay.
Just click on that, and I'm using Outlook, so that will be a reoccurring meeting that happens. So if you ever need help and you're like, what did you say? I don't know what he's doing. I'm here to help. So let me see. Did what I said for the, okay, yeah. Don, do you want me to cover the next one for the alt text for the screaming frog? Or
nope, I can show that to everybody. So what I wanted to show you is we're showing you all the different ways that you can address alt text, because that is one of the accessibility issues. When you run your Moncito scans, it's going to show up for everybody. And the only way to clear it out of Moncito is to physically look at each one of the alt text and then clear it. Now, it's kind of a laborious process to go into Moncito on each individual, to go to each one and clear it. It might be easier, and you might have, for you to go to the media library and work through them that way to do your check. But I have what I think is the real easy button, and that we now have another tool that we have in for Dom Do It, that we can produce these reports for you. And I think that most of you had access to a Screaming Frog report to help you with your looking at your documents on your website. And Screaming Frog gives us some additional detail. There's a special report we can run, and we're in the process of running it right now for all the agencies, and we'll put it in the same folder for you, where you can actually see the image, name, and then the alt text in just a spreadsheet. So you can scroll down and you can see if any are empty, that would have occurred, as Shireen said, when you migrated content, when we had Lullabot move all the images from your old site to your new site. If you didn't have alt text on your old site, you don't have it on the new one. Only when you're adding a new image does it force you to fill in that field. It also allows you to look and see whether that text is accurate and appropriate. And what I think you'll find is that sometimes that text became maybe the actual sort of file image name and is not appropriate, or it is something that ultimately should be decorative. And so there is a agency images detail file. I'm going to come over here. This is the link to the Screaming Frog folder. And you can see that the Department for the Blind has a Screaming Frog report. This is the general report that does not have the image details. We're getting these loaded in here, and they should all be loaded in by the middle of next week. Here we have DAS image details, and I'm going to show you that, because what it gives you is, this is the page where the image is, right? And this actually is blank. So right here are 2 images that need to have some alt text added to them, or these images were brought over from the old site and they've got this nice double quote in it. Of course, that means it's decorative, right? So let's scroll down here, and I also want to point this out. You're going to see this back to home page. Everybody's going to have that with the wild rose. You're going to have a whole bunch of them. You can just scroll through and miss them and skip over them, or you can delete them. Because it's just that the report picks it up. Here we go. Now you have the HRE Express has information on that page, and they've got an image, and they just called it data table. I'm going to say that is a really good clue that you need to go fix that image, because data tables are one of the places where you really need to have good alternate text to describe, most likely, the data that's in it, or to title that data and provide a link off to where the source data could be if it's really long. What I want to point out to you is that and share that we've got this nice writing tip. This was on the ServiceNow knowledge portal, and you can still find it there if you go to ServiceNow. But I also want to point out that we are taking and our goal is to take the content from the ServiceNow Knowledge Center and get it all added into our digital experience website. And so you will see that here, and our navigation is changing slightly on the digital experience site, right? We've now got plan your website and building pages, website management. Now we're calling out accessibility. And you can see that we've got, some articles in here. We'll have more, but then we also have accessibility training. And I want to encourage you to take a look at this. We have live, and it's live, virtual training with MSF&W. And you can see a highlight of the first few upcoming sessions. And then, of course, you can go see all the sessions. The actual training class on alt text isn't until later this year. This training goes on throughout the entire year, but it skips the summer months. Along with this, we do have on-demand training, right? This is the MSF&W recorded sessions from last year. So this Intro to Document Accessibility and Microsoft Word Accessibility is a class we really want everybody to take. Everybody on this call should have already seen this, or should go here and watch this, or sign up to take one of these upcoming classes. We're going to offer each class twice. It's offered in the morning from 9 to 11, and then it's offered at another time in the afternoon, I think from 1 to 3. So we really want to make sure everybody has that overview and understands Microsoft Word accessibility. And then obviously most of you are going to want to go in and do the Adobe PDF training. We're offering new training, including InDesign, PowerPoint, Excel, specific training on maps. But you can, if you have somebody new, if you get a new administrative assistant hired in your department, and they're going to be responsible for creating or cleaning up documents for you, you could have them go into Workday Learning Management and go take any of these courses right now. Finally, in addition to Shireen's office hours, we're also going to have accessibility office hours. And so this is that time with MSF&W. You can show up once a week, and this is Wednesdays at 9, that you can just pop in and ask your question. You're trying to build a table, or you're running the check, whether it's in Word or it's in PowerPoint, you did the accessibility check and it tells you there's a problem with your table and you're not sure how to fix it, you can pop in Wednesdays at 9. This is the link to join. You don't have to register. You can just come in. So we're really excited that we're going to be able to make this resource available to you. And you can see, again, with this navigation, the content that's coming over from the ServiceNow knowledge area under digital services, because we've added this new area for you. We also have some information on Seamless, e-payment, our open record requests, documents.iowa.gov, the information on social media, gov delivery, public comment, and then information about creating ServiceNow tickets. And so we'll be adding more information in here. There's just a little information in here now, but a lot of the material that has been in ServiceNow is coming to the digital experience website so that it's all in one place for you. The other part of it is that we are, as a state enterprise, going to be moving from ServiceNow to a new platform over the course of this year. Some agencies will be moving, and you'll be getting more information from Jessica in the coming months. In the first half of this year, we'll be getting to a new platform called Service Engine. And so it just makes sense that we get all of our material for the things that you do with us here in our digital experience site. I'm going to pause for just a minute and see if we have any questions, because in chat, or give folks a chance to ask questions, because we haven't really tackled them. I see that there was a question. So DOT doesn't have access to Workday. The recorded training sessions today are in ServiceNow. In our knowledge area. So again, if I type in accessibility, we have this MS Word and accessibility overview recording, that same class that I was talking about, that this class is, and I'm not sure if it's the 2022 version or the 2024 version, but there is a recording of that class that you could have folks be able to see from ServiceNow. And we'll look to see what we can do to also make them available on the DX or the digital experience site.
I'll be uploading them as events, that presentations, so that way I can have like a listing page that shows all of the past trainings and links to those Google Drive recordings.
Okay. Thank you. Good question, Charisse. Other questions? Okay. I've got a lot of tabs open. I'll try to come back to our presentation then. Okay. Our sandbox. Jessica, did you want to talk about the sandbox?
Yeah, sure. We launched the sandbox. You should have received an email if you're an agency manager from Gov Delivery that you now have access to the sandbox. So this is only for agency managers at this time. I don't know if you can go to the next screen for me, Dawn. I think there's a screenshot. Yep. And so we also have added a resource. We're really working hard to have that digital experience, although one-stop shop on the sandbox or on the training site. So there is, how do you work with the DX Sandbox? There is a resource there on the digital experience website. Also, again, just the agency managers, but also Shireen and Alexis and Jay worked really hard on making a landing page for each agency. Not that you can't do anything on the website. It's a sandbox. So don't get that wrong. But it also, to help keep it somewhat organized, we did make a landing page for each agency. So again, find your landing page, mess around, add some menus, try an accordion, whatever, call out, how's this going to look? It just gives you a safe place to experiment in your own sandbox. So again, we're very excited about this opportunity. Again, use the resources that we have on our website. And again, only to agency managers. So again, we're excited about this launch.
Question about the sandbox. Has anybody been in there and used it since we made that available over the last month?
I have.
We're using it. We hope that you will too.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked a little bit about benchmarks, and we were talking about the reading level. And so I just wanted to, again, highlight for everybody the goals that were set out for the project. So we have accessibility, we want to be at 83%, quality at 93%, content reduction at 30%, and then the 8th grade reading level for your top 10, now looking at your top 20 pages. And steering committee put these in place, and we have a single benchmark where we looked at your sites largely in July of 2022, and then post-launch in about 3 months, we capture your current information. And we talked about this at our Capstone meeting. You guys just really rocked it. I mean, the content cleanup, I mean, I know there were agencies that eliminated 50+% of their content, which, you know, it was just awesome that, you know, we cleaned up those old meeting minutes and content that really wasn't current. And so kudos to you. I know you're doing a great job trying to keep track of broken links and misspelled words in Acquia Optimize. I'll quit using the words Moncito eventually. And so these are the goals. Now we have that single benchmark that we're using for this project that is before and after launch, and that we're reporting back to the federal government who's funding this project with the ARPA funds. But we have always had a ongoing benchmark that, you know, this is an updated link for you because it just gives you the last 3 years. But we actually have the, you know, some benchmark information, I think going back, you know, 6 or 7 years to show your site and how many pages and documents you had. So you can kind of see you grew, and then you got the new site and you went down. And now this benchmark, it shows, again, the last 3 years, broken links, right? And then it shows reading level. And this is just what's reported in Acquia Optimize, and it's the big picture on your site. It's not focused on those top 10 pages. It's just kind of high level. We've got the quality, we've got the accessibility. And then we have number of pages and number of documents. And we've highlighted the current information from, and I think we did this back in October of 2024. So we benchmarked it here. At the Capstone, we talked about it would be good to have this information on a more frequent basis to be able to kind of keep on top of things. And so we will be using this benchmark information and making available to you on a quarterly basis going forward. So that's why you see you've got a new column here that hopefully when we meet next month, then Alexis will be highlighting how we're doing with our next quarterly benchmark. And again, you can see on broken links, look at some of these agencies. And this was, again, one particular day, point in time when the report was run. And you know, it's like whammo on these broken links. You get that report in the mail, you go in, you fix them, and next week, they're there again. And you know, brand new broken links. How does that happen? It's just whammo. Anyway, agencies are working really hard at it, and there's some that still need to be working on their cleanup, but hopefully from you know, from 2024 to February of 25, we can see some improvements there, as well as when we look at the quality rating, the accessibility. And then, of course, we want you to pay attention to the number of pages. I'm just going to, again, and I think Anthony did join us from Tony from the State Historical. They're here in front of my eyesight, so I'll pick on them. Back in 2022, they had 2,600 pages on their site. Then they had some cleanup and they went down and they went back up. Now, we have not run the scan on their new site to see how many pages, but I know that it's a lot less. The same is true on documents. But here, Homeland Security, look at them. They had 754 and now they've got 240. This just is great to see how you're progressing. And then as those numbers maybe start to increase, that's the reminder to go look at that outdated content tab and be cleaning up the site, unpublishing some of that old content. So we've got this new benchmark report available to you, and we'll be updating it on a quarterly basis. Any questions? Okay, Todd, are you with us? I know you had another meeting and you had to pop out for a minute. Are you available?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, I guess I could just say on your behalf then that you're continuing the work. You're really not available. You got your double.
No, that was sarcasm.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah, I didn't think the other meeting was ever going to end, but it finally did.
Okay.
So first of all, for all of you guys out there who have been working on these inventories, thank you. I know this is a seemingly endless, thankless task. We're getting there. So we're making good progress overall in the inventories. If you don't have yours done, I am really asking that you wrap them up. I'm asking, I see your inventories out in the SharePoint site by the end of this week. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. And my cell phone number is also on everything, right? So if for some reason I am not answering you in 30 seconds flat on Messenger, call me. I really want to make sure I do everything I can to facilitate you guys getting this part done. The MSA is still in progress. We still don't have the signed contract yet with Alliant. So, we don't have the vendor quite lined up yet, but getting the inventory ready to go. So the minute we get that signed, it's very important for us to hit the ground running to help us get this taken care of. Any questions, concerns on the inventory?
Okay, and I'm going to jump back here. One more piece for you on this screaming frog.
Sure.
So, let me pick a good one. I'll do Department of Management. I'm going to pick on us, okay? Yep. I want to show you that this Screaming Frog report is helping me understand what things I need to look at from a document accessibility perspective. Because in the Screaming Frog report, it lists title for the document. And so I have this media item, which is the Strategic Planning Guidebook. That's probably pretty good. I'm happy about that. But if you look here, all of these documents don't have a title. That will be an accessibility error. And so now,
which is going to be
when you're looking at your when you're looking at your inventory, these documents are already published. So technically on April 24, 2026, they do not have to be fixed unless this document happens to be critical, important to a constituent being able to obtain a government service. So if this was instructions about applying for a grant, we would have to get it cleaned up. And we would know that, again, look at those things that don't have titles. And then here we come down here and you can see, there's the title. This is the PDF. Does it really need to say Microsoft Word? That's probably not a great title. And sometimes documents get scanned, right? And we use a lot of acronyms. This is being read by a screen reader. And so probably want to work on titling. And we were going to talk about our document naming convention. I'll send out a link to our recommendation around document naming so that your file name that gets downloaded when somebody's downloading it is something that's descriptive and good, and that part of that file name might be what you would want to use on the title of the document. But I just wanted you to see that Screaming Frog in the title field will help you identify things that are missing or things that may not be well written. Like reimbursement guide, maybe that's okay, or maybe it's Iowa Access Grant Reimbursement Guide would be a better title.
Thank you.
So,
yeah. And for those of you that are looking primarily out at the SharePoint site, the accessibility SharePoint site that I put out for the project, a lot of you have Screaming Frog reports out there as well. So like when I run Screaming Frog reports, I put them out there. They're labeled, the subcategory is Screaming Frog.
Do you want to pop that link when you get a chance, Todd,
Sure.
into chat here for everybody?
I sure will. Also, I'd like to, while we're talking about that, out there, while I'm putting this out, there's also an FAQ, right? So when I get questions that either I'm getting it multiple times or it's a question that's like, well, duh, this is obviously other people probably have it. I am trying to keep adding things to the FAQ. Like alternate text for images is a question I got a lot. So there's a paragraph out there about it and links to things like Social Security's guide to alt text and a couple others. So I am trying to make sure I do a good job of providing you access to additional sources for information. Do you want to go out to that site?
Sure. And I was, okay. Let me get.
Yep.
Is it gonna? Are you seeing the Edge browser come up? Oh, it's probably gonna make me log. It's gonna make me log in. I'll just copy the link and put it over here because then I'm hoping it will be happy. Okay, much better.
Perfect. So when you come into this main page, one of the things I've added recently is the first thing you're going to notice, there's a quick link to the DX training site. So if you've got mine bookmarked and you don't have the training site bookmarked yet, there's a quick link to it. Scroll down a little bit, and that's the frequently asked questions. That graphic will pop you open, and there's things about ACRs, VPATs, alt text. There's the alt text best practices, right? It's real nice and short, easy to use. Do my print versions need to be accessible? Yes, they do. There's quick links to some various guides on PDFs, Word. So on top of the training, here's some quick guides on how to make things accessible.
Right. So and I think this one aren't these the links I gave you for the state of Minnesota? We're going to be promoting out to folks. I love the state of Minnesota website for accessibility. They have this little, oh, maybe this isn't the Minnesota one. This isn't their quick card, but still, this is really great material. And like I said, we are going to be promoting. Oh, there we go. These quick cards. We'll have a link on our under accessibility on the DX training site. These individual quick cards. So we've got Adobe Pro, we've got one for InDesign, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and this is not the be all and end all. This is not a checklist of 27 things. If you do each of these 27 things, you are golden, because that's always going to be changing, because their software version's going to change, and it's going to depend on what the document is that you're creating. But these are the high level things that they say, be sure to use your document, and you've heard this all, but these little quick cards from Minnesota are really helpful. And so we'll have the link on our site, go take a look at them.
Yep. And then back on the other site, below the FAQ, there's also the quick links. Let me back out one more. Go ahead and back out one more. And below that, then there's like the quick links to the ADA, like the exceptions, right? You understand the accessibility exclusions. There's a quick link to those exclusions. It's that bottom left of those right there. So there's like the high level guide, what documents do not need to be remediated. So if you're having questions about that, there's quick links out there to various pieces. And then after that, of course, is the document section, which is also available on the left. That's where, we've been working quite a bit, where your inventories go. So I'm doing my best to make sure that this site is available and has a lot of quick, easy ways to get to the information we're trying to share. Any questions on the site or anything you'd like to see that's not there?
We've got some naming conventions out here for you.
Yep. This is a draft. I'm not sure, Don, if you've looked.
I think, we just have to update it. We've got it, I think, finalized. So, and again,
Excellent.
These are guidelines and not a hard and fast standard. You must all do it this way. Your agency may have your own naming conventions in place that you get to use. So, I know Mary was asking about access to the Google Drive that I showed earlier, and that I think is you're talking about the Screaming Frog, and yes, you all have access to that, and I'll put that in chat for you. And again, the link is also in the slide presentation.
And I would like to volunteer as tribute. If you've made some large changes to your documents, you have added a lot of documents, you need a Screaming Frog report run, I do have the ability to do that, and I'd be happy to do it for you. So if you need another version, a new version run, I can do that.
Let's see, we've got other questions.
It looks like Lori has a question.
When we remove a PDF file, that we don't need on the Drupal website in the media library, the document is still live in the files area. How can we make sure the media library and files are linked together? So this is an effort that we are having Lullabot work on to help us clean this up, and it's work that they will be doing over the next 90 days. So we'll have hopefully more of an update for you next month. We do know that that is an issue, and we're working through that. Other questions?